So today I wanna talk about the lessons in football that young players learn too late. So this video literally came from literally just me and my boys just having a conversation of like, oh, what would you do differently if you could go back to like when you were like 9 years old, 10 years old, and obviously all sort of stuff came up because obviously all our journeys in football are different. So I've just gathered like the best points that I found in them conversations, and yeah, I'm just gonna be telling you young guys about what mistakes to avoid, what things not to do, or what things you need to do as a young player growing up. So yeah, as the quote says, a smart man learns from his own mistakes, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. So make sure you listen up to what I'm saying, man, and make sure you don't make these mistakes. So yeah, let's get it. So the first lesson that young players learn too late is that ultimately football is just a game. Like I know that I say that, and I know that on a match day there's a lot of pressure to perform, to not let your teammates down, to not let your coaches down, to maybe even not let your parents down who are watching, or even the parents of other players who are watching. But yeah, literally, ultimately, football is just a game. Like I feel like at a young age, you shouldn't really be putting pressure on yourself. At a young age, you should just be taking the opportunity. Every time you step out onto the pitch, you should be you should just be like, okay, this is just a learning curve. Like everything. When you're so young, when you're young and playing football, everything you should just be taking it as just a learning curve. All the mistakes you make, don't be afraid of making mistakes because you that's ultimately how you get better as a player. Just take everything in your stride as a learning curve. Whether something good happens to you, bad happens to you, whether you score a goal, score an own goal, give away a penalty, score a penalty, miss a penalty, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, it's just all a learning curve. It's just gonna make you it's just gonna make you a better player, and just yeah, turn you into the player that you're gonna become in the future. Because let's be honest, at 16, no one remembers the time that you cost your team the summer tournament when you were 10 years old. Like nobody's gonna remember that at 16. Let's be honest. So don't so yeah, that's the first point. It's just a game. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be shy on the pitch. Don't get disheartened if you lose a game, if you win a game, because trust me, when you're so young, even at like 14, nobody remembers the wins and losses. Like I'm talking from experience. I'm 19 now, bro. Nobody barely remembers anything that happened when we were 13. Nobody remembers the time that we got slapped 9-2 when we were like 13, bro. I'm telling you, like people forget about that stuff. People move on. So literally, just take everything as a learning lesson. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be like me when I was younger. Like I think I've told this story before, but when I was younger, I would literally miss games because I'd be so nervous for the games. Like I felt so much pressure that in the morning I would go to training. I'll go to training on the Saturday, and I'll be fine. And then I'd lie to my dad and say, "Oh, Dad, I'm injured. I can't really play today." Well, the reality was I wasn't even injured. I was completely fine. I just couldn't handle the pressure sometimes. This was when I was like 8 years old, 9 years old. But there were some mornings where I just couldn't handle the pressure. I felt, what about if I make a mistake, blah blah blah, and things would just be going through my head. And sometimes I just couldn't do it until one day that, like I said, I didn't know. I don't think my dad knew either. That I basically just lied to him and said, "Yo, I'm injured," because I was feeling pressure. And then he went to the match, and then apparently that was the game that decided who won the title, and my team won. So I literally missed the trophy celebrations and everything when we won the title. And from that day, I think I was like probably like 10 years old. From that day, I was like, "Nah, I'm never missing a game again." So yeah, but even after that, even when I never missed a game, I was still so nervous for games. I would still, in certain games, I'd be scared to get the ball. I'd be hiding away because sometimes the pressure was getting to me. But yeah, like when I got older, I realized that yo, it's literally just a game. Just if I make a mistake, just recover the ball, just get back, and yeah, just focus. Don't focus on making mistakes. Don't worry about if what if this happens, what if this happens. Literally, just focus on helping your team win the game, basically. So yeah, that's the first point. That at the end of the day, yeah, there's a lot of pressure. There's this and that, but it's literally just a game. It's just a game of football. Just go out there, do your best, try win. Because let's be honest, putting pressure on yourself is not gonna help your game at all. Like you just have to play with freedom. Like especially when you're young. If you want to try that step over, try that step over. You want to try that skill, try that skill. If you want to try that 30-yard pass, try it. It doesn't matter. And if it doesn't come off, cool. You learn from it. You learn that okay, next time in that situation, I'll do something different. If you get caught on the ball, alright, cool. And you can see the goal, just brush yourself off and be like, alright, cool. At least now I know now in that certain situation, I need to play off one touch. I can't be taking 3 touches in that situation. I have to play in one touch. Just little things like that will just it's just all learning lessons when you're young that will help you get better as a player as you get to like 16, 17, 18. So literally just take every game as it comes. Don't worry about the mistakes. Even when you play well, just don't worry about them. Just think about after the game. Okay, what did I learn from today's game? Literally, everything's just a learning lesson. That's how people build like their football intelligence. Literally, just ask yourself after every game. Yo, what did I learn from today's game? What did I do good? What did I do wrong? And what did I learn from it? Because that's all it is when you're at a young age. It's just all about learning about the game and just learning about the game and just improving your IQ. So that's the first point. So the next lesson young footballers learn too late is you have to have urgency. And what I mean by this is you have to have urgency to try and constantly always try to progress to the next level. Never get comfortable. Like I think the thing is with me is that I got comfortable in the fact that I stayed on my first team for 7 whole years. I think probably from ages 5 to 11. Like I stayed on the same team for 7 years, and I'd always see these guys who are always moving teams, and always look at them like I'd always frown upon them. I'd be like, oh, what, this guy's moving teams all the time. Like, what's he doing? Like this guy, like where's the loyalty in the game? Loyalty's dead in the game. I was thinking, oh, what's wrong with this guy? He's always moving teams. But to be honest, now looking back, I should have done the same thing. I think when you're young, forget all the loyalty thing. Don't be ashamed to be moving teams every season, even if it's like every 6 months, even if you're what's it called, moving teams within the season, halfway through the season, you're moving teams. If that's what it takes to progress your game, to get better, literally do it. Like me and my boy were really talking about this as well. Like when we were young, you just because obviously when you're young, there's this whole thing of like the parents and the coaches are saying that, don't worry, lads, don't worry if we win or lose. Which don't worry if I win or lose, just go out there and have fun. Which is true, which I sort of told you guys to do in the last point, where it's like don't put too much pressure on yourself, but at the same time, you still have to, if you really want to make it, you still have to have that urgency to always want to get to the next level. Try play with better players, play against better players in a better league, basically. So literally what I would say to you guys is literally don't be, like I said, don't be ashamed of moving teams if you keep moving up. Literally, if you have to move teams every single season, just do it. Like forget all the loyalty thing. This isn't about loyalty. In your younger years, it's not about loyalty. The team doesn't pay you, so just remember that the team doesn't pay you. So forget all the loyalty business. Literally, just do it for your development. Literally, do what's best for your development. So if you have to, like I said, don't be afraid to switch. Keep moving teams. Let's say you're at a team at this level and another team, and there's trials for another team. Yo, go to the trials and get to this team. Then the next season, if you need to move again to keep up in the level, literally do it. Like just keep on progressing, keep on progressing. Like I said, don't be afraid to switch teams, because obviously you have a limited window in football. Like let's be honest, in terms of getting into the academy, you literally have like what the window's like, what ages 6 to 16. And obviously you're probably thinking, that's always like what, yeah, 6 to 16 pretty much. And you're probably thinking, that's 10 years, that's a lot. Trust me from experience, bro. Those 10 years go like this. Like, trust me, one day you're under nines, the next day you're looking around and you're under 15s. Like, it's nuts. Like that time goes quickly. So if you're not urgent, if you're not always striving to get to the next level, become a better player, trust me, those years are gonna go by quick, and you're gonna be like, damn, like I'm out of time. Like I'm 16 already. You're gonna look around like, damn, I'm 16 already, and I've been at the same team for the last 5 years. Then you're gonna be thinking, damn, like you missed the window. So yeah, that's literally my point. Literally, just have that urgency to always find a better team. Have that urgency to always strive to play at a higher level, because playing at a higher level with high level players is only going to make you better. Don't be comfortable. Don't be content with, I'm the best player on my team though. I'm the best player on my team, so that means I'm academy standard. Because that's a mistake that I made. I can't lie. My first, like I said, when I was at my first team for like 7 years, I was looking around like, I'm the best player on the team. Blah, blah, blah. This is good enough for me. Like, nah. But little did I know, I was basically just a big fish in a small pond, to be honest. And then when I eventually moved teams, I saw the level change again. And then I looked around, I was like, oh damn, like I'm not like the out and out best player on the team anymore type thing. Like, so when I moved teams at like what was it, 12 years old, I looked at it and I was like, damn, I'm not the out and out best player on the team anymore. And then obviously that forced me to like work on my game. So imagine if I'd moved teams like after 2 years, if I moved to a high level after 2 years, then I'd have to look around and be like, I need to work on my game. I need to work on my game. But it wasn't until like 12, 13 where I looked around and I was like, okay, I actually have to work on my game now. I actually have to make improvements to my game. So yeah, that's literally the second point, that have urgency to improve your game. If this means moving teams every single season, do it. Yeah, and just always strive for your development. Basically, play with better players, against better players at a higher level. As well as this last point on the last thing on that point is, literally think about it. I've said it before. Football's about connections, right? And so if you've played for like, if you're like 14 years old and you've played for like 6 different managers, obviously now you've got connections. Now the managers are familiar with you. Now they know you. Let's say that manager eventually turns into like a first team manager or something, or that manager all of a sudden has links and connections to academy coaches. Obviously, that's going to benefit you, because especially if you're a good player, he's obviously going to recommend you to those first team managers. Or if he's the first team manager, he's obviously going to what's it called, give you a chance to show yourself when you get to that age, when you're being the first team. Or if he has links to academies, he's obviously going to tell those academy coaches about you to try get you in, try get you a training session, try give you a chance, and little things like that. And then yeah, from there it's up to you to basically just show the academy coaches that, yo, I deserve to be here. So obviously, yeah, that's another thing about playing for multiple teams when you're young. You just have so many connections, so many people know you, and you just never know what can happen. You can never know what happens with that. You never know, like it's like I said, if you have 6 coaches, you never know. There's a good chance that maybe 1 out of the 6 has good connections, maybe even 2 out of the 6 managers have good connections. But if you're just with the same manager for all that time, you're not really getting your name out there. You're not really being known as, what's it called? You're not really um, being known, letting people know who you are, basically. So yeah, and I've seen this even when I was younger. Even when I was younger, there was always those certain kids who were always moving teams, and all the parents knew them. And I was thinking, wait, how though? Like it just felt like every single person knew them. Like especially when you got to like secondary school, you get that one guy who played for like 7 teams. He played for like 5 Sunday teams and 2 academies, and you say his name. Everyone knows him by his first name and his last name. And back then I was thinking like, wait, how though? Like, how does everyone know this guy? And yeah, it's literally because they've just literally just been everywhere, bro. So they've been everywhere. They're probably a good player as well, so they've impressed wherever they've been at. And now, yeah, people know them basically, and obviously that builds connections. That player probably has, links with academies, links with first teams. So yeah, like I said, just always just not being afraid to move teams every single season, just to always get to the next level. It can only benefit your game. So the third lesson that young footballers learn too late is the value of hard work and actually working on your game to improve certain attributes. Now this is personally for me, is that when I was growing up, I didn't really understand the concepts of like hard work and the ability to like improve your strengths, but also improve your weaknesses as well. Like for some reason, when I was young, I literally thought that we were all like video game characters, and we all had our strengths and we had our weaknesses, and that was that. Like everyone basically just had what they had. I didn't really get the concept of, okay, so if I do sprint training, then I can get faster. If I work on my dribbling, I'm gonna become a better dribbler. Nah, for some reason, like I said, I just thought we were all video game characters, and it's like, alright, if you weren't blessed with pace, that's it, you're cooked. You'll never be fast. You will never have a decent amount of pace. If you couldn't shoot, for example, oh, that's it. You'll never be able to shoot. Like I thought it was like that. I don't know why, but simply because probably around that age, nobody's really like CR7 and doing 2 hour training sessions and really showing like significant improvements. Like especially where I was from, it was literally just the good players were good and the dead players were dead. Like it was never anything different. Like I had never seen like a guy who was dead at football, and then in 2 years like became like a superstar. I'd never really seen that. It was always like, oh, if you're just good, you're good, and if you're bad, you're bad, and that's pretty much how it is at that age. But the problem with that is that young players don't really understand that, yo, if I work on my game over time and just by little, just keep going at it. So let's say me, for example, but back then I was slow, and I was always like, oh, it just is what it is. I can't improve my pace. Whereas if I had literally just gone, all right, cool, I'm slow, but over time, little by little, I can improve my pace. That would have improved my game so much as a young player. So yeah, literally that's what I have to say. Literally, just what's it called? Just have the mindset as a young player of, okay, it might take time, but whatever I need to work on, whatever weaknesses I need to work on, I can get better at them just over time, over time. Like I said, it's not gonna come straight away. Don't think that you're just gonna work on. Let's say you're a slow player. Don't think you're gonna do like sprint training for like 1 week and then all of a sudden you're gonna be Mbappe. No, it's not gonna work like that. It's still gonna take time. It's still gonna be a slow progress. It might be like, okay, what you might still be down here and it's gonna be like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 2 months. And then after 3 months, you start seeing a little something. 3 months, now you're getting fast, you're getting quick. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, and now you've gone from one of the slowest players on the team to one of the quickest players on the team. Like, it's mad because you've just built up that strength in your legs. Maybe you started going to the gym, you started doing like squats and stuff like that. But bro, it's possible. Just have that mindset. Have that mindset of like, yo, I can improve. I can get better. It's gonna take time, but it can be done. And plus, anyway, nobody cares. Being the best player on your team at 10 years old, 12 years old doesn't matter. It's more time. It's the guy who's the best at like 15, 16, even 17. That's pretty much where it matters. So even if you look at it and you're 12 years old right now and you can be like, oh, I need to work on my shooting, but it's gonna take so much time. Like, I don't think I can do it. Literally, if you're only 12, bro, like literally just keep working on your game. Even if it takes 2 years and you're 14, you turn 14. Now as a striker, your shooting's improved so much. Every time you touch the ball, it's cash money. Every time you get the ball inside the box, it's a goal, bro. And then you go to a tournament one summer when you're 14. Academy scout comes to watch you. He likes you. You start training with them guys. And then you impress, and then you sign the contract just like that. Like, it can literally just be as simple as that. Like, as a young player, you have time. It's good. As a young player, you still have that time to develop and improve your game. So literally, just have the mindset of whatever's lacking, or even your strengths. Even your strengths, you can still get your strengths to a higher level. Because, like I said, when I was young, I did not think like that. I just thought we just all had our strengths, we had our weaknesses, and that was that. Like, but nah, it doesn't work like that. Trust me. As you go through your ages at 15, 16, that's 14, 15, 16, that's where you start to see certain guys are pulling away, and then you also see certain guys start to regress. But yeah, that's just how it goes. So that's the next point. Always what's it called? Understand the value of hard work and being able to improve either your strengths or your weaknesses. Like, for me personally, I didn't really get this until the COVID lockdown. Now, in the COVID lockdown, I was like 14 years old, and obviously, me and my cousin, we went to go do sprints, we went to go do like long distance running, and we went to go just play football basically every single day. And I remember that in 2020, those like months of like April, May, June, the sun was out, like the sun was mad hot, but we'd still go there every single day and just continue to just work on our fitness, work on our technicals. And I came out of that lockdown just a much better player basically, because obviously before COVID, I was bare fat, and obviously during COVID, because of the sprints, the long distance running and the training, I'd lost weight. So I was quicker. I could get around the pitch more. I was faster. What's it called? People couldn't just knock the ball past me and use their pace and just run anymore. And then I looked around. I was like, okay, so this is the value of hard work. Like, this is like, I can actually improve if I just put the work in little by little. I could actually improve my game. So yeah, that's the first time at 14 where I realized, okay, I can really improve my strengths and my weaknesses just through hard work. So literally, if you're younger than 14, if you're like 12, literally just go outside every day, half an hour, even if it's just half an hour working on your touch, half an hour. If you go to like a pitch and you're just working on like free kicks or something, or your striker, you're just working on your shooting, literally just getting those touches in. Trust me, it might not seem anything at the time, but literally half an hour a day, an hour a day. If you keep doing that, trust me, in a year, if you keep doing that, after a year, if you've been doing that for a year, and your teammates have just been at home playing FIFA, just eating whatever, the gap is gonna go like this, and then after 2 years, the gap is gonna get even further and further away, and that's how you get the star boys who are 10 years old but never put the work in. They're by 15 they're washed, and then you maybe get the guy who at 10 years old nobody really saw him coming, but then obviously he was putting in the work. He was going to training sessions, going to matches, just focused on football. And obviously now he's the guy with the academy contract and everything. So yeah. Now the last lesson that I learned too late was pretty much being louder on the pitch. So I think the reason for this why I wasn't as loud on the pitch is that I feel like in the teams where in the first team where I was growing up, in my first ever team that I joined when I was growing up, that I was there for like 7 years. A lot of the time, anytime someone would get angry or would shout at someone or make a criticism, the coach would always tell that guy off. Like, let's say one player had made a mistake and another player had shouted and said, "Oh, why did you do that? You should have passed to me, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't you just clear the ball? Why are you not releasing the ball?" That player would always be punished. Like, that player would always get told off. And I would always be thinking, wait, why is he getting told off when he's literally just telling the other player where he made a mistake? Like, so yeah, you get all this type of things when you're growing up in football, especially if there's like a lot of mums on the sideline. Like, I remember when I went to go watch my brother's game, and I think their goalkeeper, my brother's goalkeeper, literally told his defense. I think he went, "Get up the fucking pitch." I think that's what he said. And then obviously all the dads were just there like, ah, yeah, that it just is what it is. All the dads were like, yeah, get up the pitch. But then all the mums were like, oh my gosh, what did my son just say? I remember his mum was like, what did my son just say? Oh, he's gonna hear about this when we get home. And I was just thinking, yo, these that type of thing just happens in pro football all the time. Like, people get criticism, teammates criticize each other, teammates get into arguments, teammates even get into fights. I know you've seen the Tottenham documentary with Son and Lloris. Like, teammates get into fights just, and it's literally not because they hate each other. It's not because there's a dislike there. It's literally because they all want to win pretty much. It's just all about winning the game. So literally, even when Son and Lloris had that fight, they literally just went back out onto the pitch, won the game, and the next day they'll probably call with each other. They'll just like, yo, is what it is, isn't it? It's just football. Like, emotions are high. There's a lot of things on the line, so people just want to win. So literally, I just tell my younger self that, yo, don't be afraid to literally just don't be afraid to just stick it on somebody. Obviously, don't stick it on somebody every single time for no reason. But if it needs to happen, yo, just stick it on someone every time and just be like, yo, fucking pattern up. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I wasn't really like that because it was, to be fair, it wasn't just me. A lot of people are not like that. A lot of times you hear about, like, you never see like a lot of people say to, let's say a guy was just playing shit today, maybe he cost you the game. You'll never see like growing up, I would never see like, it was never like players getting onto that guy saying, "Oh, what the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" More time it was like you'd hear like other players discussing amongst themselves. They'll be like, "Oh, yeah, that guy's so shit, blah, blah, blah. That guy's so shit." It'll more just be people talking amongst themselves, but they'll never tell the actual guy what he did wrong. Because obviously, if you tell the actual guy what he did wrong, maybe he'll just get in his feelings, maybe he'll start crying and all of that. So yeah, but like I said, that sort of talk just happen is so normal in football. Like, people don't even, it's literally nothing. Like, it wasn't until I was probably about 16 where I joined a team where it was like, people are allowed to get onto each other when they make mistakes. People are allowed to say, yo, bro, pattern up, that was fucking shit. Like, and I was like, yeah, I like that environment now, because before then it really wasn't like that. Before then it was like, you tell someone something and they get in their feelings straight away. They start putting their head down, throwing a strop. But on the team that I joined when I was 16, bro, everyone could call each other shit. Everyone was saying, yo, fucking pass the ball. Why didn't you release this? Why didn't you do that? And to be honest, even when you get to the first team, bro, it's literally the same thing. Or when you get to a first team, whether that's semi-pro or academy, it's literally the same thing. People are going to talk to you, however, because like I said, when you get to the first team, it's about what's being said and not how it's being said. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cares about how it's being said. It's what is being said. Listen to what is being said. So if someone says, "Oh, why the fuck did you not release the ball?" He's not saying that because he hates you. He's saying that because, yo, you need to release the ball. And obviously, you don't really expect your teammates to say, "Oh, excuse me, why did you not pass the ball? I feel like personally, I feel like I was in a better position to receive the ball. So next time, please pass the ball to me." Like, no, it's not gonna work like. It's gonna be like, yo, bro, next time I'm in a better position, fucking give me the ball. And then that's the end of it. Like, it's never personal when it comes to football. So yeah, that's literally what I tell my younger self. I literally just say, yo, don't be afraid to just stick it on somebody. And if someone sticks it on me, don't take it personally. It's not because the person hates you. It's not because he dislikes you. It's literally because this is just how people talk. On the football pitch, instructions need to be received and given quickly. Like, they don't have time to explain themselves in a nice way because the game's moving too quick. You just have to say what you need to say and then move on to the next play. So that's what I'd say to young players. But anyway, that's all I got to say in this vid. Hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.